Okay, so this video lecture is just on helpful pointers that you may find helpful as you go through and design your aqueduct. Couple things. First of all, the bottom row, that would be, now here's an example of the blueprint that Miss Stacy and I made for our model. The bottom row is going to be 2 foam boards thick. So when you are cutting out the foam boards, you're going to put 2 of them together because each foam board is 1 inch thick, and we want that base to be 2 inches thick for stability. So just keep that in mind. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arches on the bottom row. So that means you have to cut out 12 arches the same dimension, and we're going to zip tie them together to make just for that bottom row. Now in this example, we have 3 rows high. That's fine. You guys can do 3 rows high. It has to be at least 2. If you do 3 though, keep in mind a couple things. You are limited with the amount of materials you have. You're all going to be given 4 foam boards. So if you have, if you want shorter arches, you can probably get to 3 rows. If you want to do taller arches, you probably need to have only 2 rows because you're going to run out of building materials. So in this example, this bottom row and the middle row will both be 2 foam boards thick, whereas the top row will only be 1 foam board thick. So if you were to reduce this to 2 rows, let's say this aqueduct, we didn't have this bottom row, pretend that bottom row is not there at all, and the aqueduct was only 2 rows. This bottom row here, okay, would be 2 foam boards thick, and this top row here would be 1 foam board thick. So again, make sure that you have enough materials for all of your arches. Another thing I want to point out to you is notice that the arches are uniform all the way across this bottom row. They are all in height, they are 12 centimeters high, but they go up to 15 centimeters. So the first layer is 15 centimeters. And each arch here is identical. Now, it's not drawn perfectly identical because I just did that freehand, as you will as well. But take a look at my second row. This is the same. These arches, the second row of arches are the same up until here. These last 2 arches are slightly different because of the slope that comes down. So you have to adjust some of your arches in your top, either your top row or your third and your second row, because the arches do change in height as that slope comes down. If you look at this top row here, these are all different. This is only 9 centimeters high, this is 6 centimeters high, this is 4 centimeters high, and there's not even an arch over here. You can't fit one in. So you're going to have to make similar adjustments in your sketch as well. Okay, one last pointer for this video lecture, and that is the dimensions of the material you'll be given. The foam board that you will be given is approximately 91 centimeters long. So if you have a dimension that's going to 1 meter, 100 centimeters, then obviously you're going to need to add some extra rows. So if you have a longer aqueduct, you are likely going to have to keep your aqueduct to just 2 rows because you're going to have more arches. And then also, it is 30 centimeters high. So with 30 centimeters high, I might just barely be able to use these dimensions, 15 centimeters and 15 centimeters, for my arch to cut out my arches, but you're kind of cutting that close. If your arches are any taller than what's on this blueprint here, you will only be able to get 1 row of arches per foam board. Okay, so if you decide you want 3 rows, you're going to have to adjust the height of your arches so that 1 row of arches takes up 1 foam board. Okay, which is going to be difficult to do if you have if your aqueduct is longer than 90 centimeters. So if you have an aqueduct that's going to be 1 meter long, 100 centimeters, you're going to have just 2 rows. Okay, so it's if your aqueduct is a little bit shorter, you can go additional rows. But again, to get 3 rows, you're going to adjust the height of your arch, and by doing so, conserving material, so that you have 1 row is used up in 1 foam board. All right, good luck, guys. See you tomorrow.